everybody, it's Heather. Today I'm going to talk to you about belts. I have my belt here with me, and I'm going to talk to you about why would you need a belt, what do they do for you, where can you get it, and like what kind to get and stuff like that. So first of all is, what do belts do anyway, right? Like I hear a lot of people like, oh, that guy isn't wearing a belt when he does deadlifts, like he's going to hurt himself, and that's not true. A belt does not actually protect your back at all. What a belt does is called proprioceptive feedback. And the best way to explain it is, imagine if somebody asked you to like push up against the air as hard as you can. You really don't know like how hard you're pushing. Are you giving it all you got? And it's really just hard to understand. So it's hard to feel that, right? And now if I give you a wall to push against and I tell you to push as hard as you possibly can, well, now that you have something to push against, now you know how hard you're pushing, right? And it gives you that feedback that you're looking for. Well, belts do the same exact thing, right? Like I'll put this belt on pretty tight around my stomach, and whenever we're lifting, we tell people to kind of like push their bellies out and to breathe into their belly, right? Take a big old breath and push out in your belly and do your lift, whether it be the squat, the press, or the deadlift, right? So whenever you put this belt on, you can actually feel yourself like tighten up all of your muscles and keep it nice and tight. And if you ever feel it losing that tightness on the belt, well, now you know like, hey, I didn't actually push that hard, or I lost it in the middle of my lift, and the belt really helps to feel that. So it just kind of helps you to feel the tightness and feel yourself pushing out into the belt throughout the entire lift. So now, when should I use a belt, right? Well, the only 3 lifts that I will use my belt on is the squat, the deadlift, and the overhead press. I do the strict overhead press. It will help all of those lifts. I don't use it until like started using the belt on my deadlifts, I think at about 170 pounds, and that was about almost 30 pounds over my body weight at the time. I used it about 155, 160 on my squats, and on my overhead press about 65 pounds. So just that was relatively heavy for me as a novice. That's when it started to get kind of heavy for me, so I started using a belt. Also, whenever you do get yourself a belt and you want to start wearing it, I recommend to put it on your last set of warm-ups during your workout. You don't want to put it on early on in your warm-ups, but so you don't want to do it the whole time, but if you're going to wear it that workout, I would put it on the last set of warm-ups. And the reason being is, whenever you go to do your working set, you want it to be exactly the same, everything exactly the same as your last warm-up, right? Like you don't want to add any weird new things. Like you don't want to add the belt because you might have it set a little too high or a little too low, or you don't want to put on a different pair of shoes, right? Like it'll completely throw you off. You want it to be the same. So that's whenever I would put it on. Now, where can you get a belt, and what are you looking for when you're looking to buy a belt? So what you're looking for is a single-pronged leather belt. 13 millimeters is what I got, and I also got a 4-inch belt. This is a single-pronged athlete belt from Best Belts. I love my Best belt. I wouldn't trade it. If I got it to fit so I could gain a little weight or I could lose a little weight and it would still fit me. You can kind of see like the wear and tear on it. I've been wearing it about these 2 holes. I've let other people use it, but anyway, I love it. I will never have to get a new one. If I lose weight, I can continue to actually just drill holes in it if I need to. It's awesome. This one is from Rogue. It is a 13 millimeter belt. It's made out of leather and it's single prong. This one, my Best belt, is a little bit more stiff than the Rogue belt, and I actually really like that. But the Rogue belts are awesome. Another thing that you're looking for is, mine is 4 inches, and I would recommend not going any less than 3 inches on how like wide it is this way. I'm 5'2". I'm a pretty petite woman, and the 4-inch belt fits me fine. The first couple times I wore it, it did kind of push into my ribs a little bit because I didn't have it set up necessarily the right way on my deadlifts, but it only took me a couple of times and I had it perfect. Now I can deadlift and squat with it, and it doesn't pinch my hip or doesn't pinch and push into my ribs or anything like that. So a 4-inch belt should work for most everybody. If it'll work for me as a 5'2" woman, then it should work for most people. If you think it's going to be too wide, if you go to measure yourself and you're like, I think that's going to be too much, my torso's too small, well then you can get a 3-inch. The most important thing is that you want it to have the same width all the way around, right? You'll see some belts where it will taper, and you don't want the taper. You want it to be the same width all the way around, just like mine. So there you have it. Hopefully that cleared some things up about belts, and hopefully you guys will go out and get you one, because I think that it's a really useful tool in weightlifting, and I think that it can help you. So hopefully that cleared some stuff up and you guys can use it. So have a good day. Thanks for watching, and happy lifting.